Hi, I'm Gary,
Hi, I'm Craig, and this is the Sober Stretch.
and the Sober Stretch is a podcast for anyone that has had serious issues with alcohol and absolutely loved getting battered and hasn't been able to control it. We are two lads that were very much into the sesh, and we've recently come across each other, and yeah, we want to just give you a no holds barred, no bullshit account of our alcoholism and how we both got sober. So, mate, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, safe. I'm all good. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into some mad stories and how we conquered the world sober.
100%. There's nothing like telling everyone about how fucked we were for so many years, but there you are.
Yeah, it's savage, but it's a message that needs to come out, doesn't it, really? Because I think you and I are both pretty happy to be honest and frank about our past history with the booze and other things.
100%.
Yeah, totally, mate. Well, why don't we give our listeners a kind of insight into how we became friends and how we're here?
Yeah, so basically, obviously, you're a lot longer in the journey, or a lot longer ahead in the journey than me. Obviously, being 10 years sober, unbelievable. Fair play to you.
Yeah,
Um, with me, I'm 20 months sober, and I set up a coaching page online to help people like my old self defeat alcoholism. Um, reason why I done it is because I did struggle for so long, and the process was so hard with regards to withdrawals. It's a complete different world, and I remember just wanting to be able to speak to someone or listen to something or get some knowledge from somewhere to make it a lot easier for me. But I couldn't really find anything because, like you said, we're going to be no holds barred. The majority of stuff that you do see online these days is a little smidge of what reality actually is. So
yeah,
we obviously come across each other online, reached out to each other. We agreed you're like the northern version of me. We were both absolute fuck pieces, and now we just want to help as many people as we can, really, because it's not a nice place to be. Addicted to booze.
yeah. It's grim as it gets, really, isn't it? Yeah, because you sent me a message just saying, "Hey, mate, really like your account." This is on Instagram. So my Instagram account is related more to alcoholism and sobriety tips and how to get dry, and yours is more like coaching because that's how physical PT training stuff, all that shit. Because we kind of approached our sobriety in a different way, really. I went on a kind of solo mind session and you've gone for the fitness, and
Yeah,
which I could probably get into at some point, but
yeah,
not right now. But I think you said that I was authentic and a no bullshit kind of person, and you liked that. And then I looked at your account and I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy is the southern version of me and 10 years younger. I'm 43, you're 30,
31.
31, right? And I just looked at all your your reels and thought, wow. It was a bizarre feeling. It really touched me how similar we were. And yeah, we had a little chat. We did an Instagram live. People suggested we do a podcast, and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. Um, it's funny because I've said this before to you, but when you're in your journey or when you're going through the shit, you feel like you are the only one that is experiencing them symptoms or experiencing them thoughts. So then when you see someone that you connect with or you share the same experience, it's unbelievable, and it kind of makes you feel good as well because you're not the only
Yeah,
one going through it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. It kind of when I saw your account, there's one particular thing of you like smashing yourself off a bike in the
Yeah,
woods or something,
yeah,
and I just thought, and just the way you told the story about how miserable you were and how all encompassing your drinking was, I just thought, oh wow, this guy like has lived my life.
yeah,
Because in my twenties were my peak time of just being, I mean, 15 years of just pure alcohol abuse, relentless sessions, relentless Monday morning drinking, and you had that,
yeah,
and I just thought, I'm not the only one.
yeah,
And I just found it comforting that someone else had had a shit life.
yeah, man. Um, because you know it's not normal to want to or need a beer before work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And you also don't want to admit it to anyone either. But you have to do it to feel normal. So when you find out that other people in the world are experiencing the same thing, I don't believe that anyone wants to be an alcoholic. I would love to have never had a problem with booze or anything like that. But yeah, when you meet someone like mine who has been through the same journey, it's quite refreshing, really, and it gives you a bit of peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I felt that really instantly when I looked at your content. I mean, I for everyone's benefit, I hit 10 years sober last Monday, and just like the indelible change in my life is, I just can't get my head around how different it is.
It's an
And it's
unreal.
nice to it's nice to connect with someone who's at an earlier stage, and but it's evident to me that you've just battered it into submission. I think,
Yeah, it was a long time
when the
coming.
problem was so big,
I think I suppose everyone's experience is different. People, I mean, some people will be like, "When did you know you was an alcoholic?" or "What made you get sober? When did you do it? How did you do it?" And I do believe that everyone's journey is probably completely unique to them. Um, but the stories and how you need alcohol to make everything good is so similar.
mm.
Um, and it's nice to be out on the other side. Touch wood.
Yeah, yeah. Long may it continue.
So
I,
what we'll do then, if I mean, if you just explain, because obviously you're a bit ahead of me, so you need to still maintain momentum every day, I suppose, to make sure that you still, even though it's been 10 years, you still need to make a conscious effort, I suppose, to be like, no drink, or is it just normal now?
it's just normal now for me, and I think that's really important that people get it. You and I were a pair of, like, we're the epitome of lads piss artists. The British kind of, oi oi, get as
Bad
fucked as you
vibes.
possibly can. A 4-day session, 5-day session, a week off work. Pitiful life,
Yeah,
pitiful existence. But 10 years sober now, I'm sitting here laughing my head off about it. And I'm
yeah,
not laughing because it was funny. I'm laughing so people understand that you will get to a point, and I don't. You'll explain where you're at with it, but I don't think about alcohol ever. Ironically, I do a lot now because I've recently started my Instagram page at Sober and Sound. Plug.
yeah.
um,
Free
so
advertisement.
I mean, fuck it. Yeah, we've got to plug our shit, man. And I started that to commemorate my 10 years, really, but also create to try and start a legacy, so I can. I'm sure you felt like this. When I was drinking, I felt like such a loser, such a waster, that was a drain on society and just a drain on everyone around me, that I've long wanted to pay people back and pay society back.
Yeah,
So now, like, with the release of my, Instagram, and, hopefully go out into other platforms and stuff and expand it as much as I can, I just wanted people to know, right, when you get to 10 years, you'll just go days, weeks, and months and not even think about alcohol. Occasionally, I
yeah,
walk past the pub and there's some like lucky bastard that can have one,
yeah,
drinking a bottle of Heineken in the sun, and I think, oh, you
yeah,
bastard. And then that's just a
yeah,
fleeting thing that passes. But like in the first couple of years, for me, certainly, I was 33 when I quit. Watching people drink was that was that was a kick in the teeth to me. That I'm like, oh, just. And then finally the acceptance really seeped in, and I thought, well, you're just one of those people that can't have it. And then the
yeah,
quality of my life started to improve. So no, I don't think about it. I do at the moment because I'm thinking about content every day, but purely from like a helping point of view. So where are you at? Like 2 years? I mean, I remember 2 years in, just under 2 years in, I was still like, my head was fucking spangled, really.
was it?
Still,
Yeah, see,
yeah, trying to like recreate a new life for myself.
yeah. I do feel like that. I'm 20 months now, which is for me unheard of. Like, I don't think anyone that knows me could ever think that was possible. Because again, I was complete and utter loser. I know it's not about body weight or what you look like and that, but I was fucking huge. I just looked like an absolute balloon. I was swollen. Um,
Swollen, yeah, I know what you
yeah,
mean.
mate. Um, but where I'm at now, no, I didn't think it was. I just didn't think it was possible to ever feel good again about life. I thought that was me. That was how my cards were played, and that was it. That was my DNA, and that was how I was destined to live like a
Hmm.
loser, trying to scrimp and scrape my way through life because I'd done for so many years, God knows how. Um, but it's just mad. It's like you get to a point where you have a second lease of life, and it makes you so grateful without getting too deep. I was so lucky to think, fuck, like I've actually got a second chance at this now.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And my I just when I quit drinking, I was in a shit state for months, for probably the first year, I would say. Again, not trying to scare anyone because it's the best decision that I've ever made. But I went to an AA meeting when I was 6 months sober because a lot of people spoke about it, and I was quite intrigued. And I still didn't feel good about not drinking 6 months in. So I went to an AA meeting, and it was that helped me a lot. I only done 3 or 4, but them 3 or 4 that I did do, they did fucking help me and give me the boot up the arse that I needed
Yeah.
just to keep going. But no, I don't struggle at all. Sometimes I can
Wow.
still have bad days and good days. Still get the odd stress, anxiety here and there, as you do. We're all human. We all have emotions, but the quality of life is unbelievable. It's not comparable to what it was. It was doom and fucking gloom.
Yeah, man. It's what interesting what you said about that's what I thought my cards had been dealt. I thought that. I remember I had one particular job, and I remember I'd sit there on a Tuesday afternoon and be still like, oh, it's nearly 5 o'clock. I'll get 3 cans for the train home. Like proper fucking scumbag drinking. But I used to think I just used to accept that that was going to be my
Yeah,
life, and I used to think all the dreams and aspirations I had when I was a teenager. I just thought, well, they're gone now, so I just
forget
have
about
to.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
not a chance, mate. So I
yeah.
used to think,
You dreamer.
oh well, tough shit. It's just the way I am. I'm going to be a drunk for the rest of my life, and I'll just have to readjust my vision of the future. And little did but pathetic. I mean, you and I are quite similar in that we both think getting sober just requires admitting you are. I mean, it sounds insulting, but the reason I got sober was because I went, yo, knobhead, fix it. Otherwise, your life's going to be pitiful forever. And once I started to consider myself as an absolute loser, and I couldn't handle that idea anymore, I really started to sort my life out. I
Yeah,
think.
you hit rock bottom.
I don't know, like rock bottom's a weird concept, isn't it? It's like, is rock bottom? I lived in a flat, and I had the month I got sober, I was waiting for my new job to start, but I had a flat, I had a roof over my head. What is rock bottom? But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
effectively, it was a rock bottom. There was just
yeah,
no
yeah,
going any lower really, apart from
yeah,
street living on the street.
yeah, yeah. See, I was mine did get that bad, and my mum's dad. He wasn't technically my granddad because I don't ever meet him, but he was an alcoholic, and he ended up dying from it, or I think he fell asleep pissed up with the oven on or something like that, and the house has gone up in flames. So
Fuck.
he's died. So my mum used to worry a lot about it. Um, and obviously, when I had no money, got sacked from job after job, mum wasn't going to help me because she knew what it was going on. Do you know what I mean? She
Mm.
didn't help me get pissed up or help me kill myself. So I did end up having to go to a halfway house with a load of interesting characters.
Yeah, I bet, mate.
Yeah, mate. Um, and that was a wake up call. I was thinking, fuck me, like for a guy that like I used to always play sports, I've always been into football. I was in semi decent shape before. I looked after myself, and then just to go down like that so rapidly, reality does hit you. And you, same as you, I was thinking this needs to fucking change. Otherwise, I'm either going to go fucking insane or I'm going to die.
Yeah,
It's one or the other. So there
yeah.
it
It's
was.
not like the rock, you said rock bottom, and then you said a kick up the arse. It's like the final kick up the arse, maybe.
Yeah, no,
I mean, a
definitely.
halfway house sounds, that's a good thing for people that are listening. That, oh, this guy was in a halfway house, and now he's healthy, happy, sane, and doesn't really think about drink
Yeah, semi sane.
in less than 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy what can happen when you figure out what it is that's pulling you down. Once you figure that out and you accept that you've got an issue, just accept it and then go about your way of dealing with it. Then you'll realize that your life will start to get better because you've removed the thing that was pulling you down for so many fucking years. Um, but you
Yeah, and the
can't.
thing is, though, in those years, you don't think it's the booze, do you? You're
No,
like, why am I so depressed?
no, because everyone drinks. Everyone drinks. I know people that can go and have a 3 day session and then go to work on Monday and be like, yeah, feel a little bit tired and that, but and then they won't have a drink for 2 weeks. Whereas me, that was fucking like death. Like that was bad. I couldn't function. I'd have to literally have a drink to get myself into work, which is fucking poor, but that's what it was.
Yeah, and there are all kinds of. I work with autistic adults as a job, and there's an autism spectrum, but I think there's an alcohol spectrum as well, an alcoholic spectrum,
Yeah,
and you don't have to be, you know, falling off the end of one extreme to be an alcoholic. There are all kinds of levels. I think you and I were
yeah,
extreme,
yeah.
from the age personally from
Dependent,
the
I
age of
would say.
18.
Dependent,
Sorry.
dependent. I would say I was.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I mean, 15 years daily, absolutely needed to drink to function, to enjoy my life,
Yeah,
to be social, to, just it was the all encompassing power over me, and it dictated everything. I think we said on that Instagram live chat that we did that um, I didn't think I could have a good time without alcohol.
no, no fucking way.
It seemed alien to me.
Yeah, no way. Like I said as well, if there wasn't booze there, I had absolutely no intention of participating in that activity or whatever it was. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
count me out because I'm not interested. It's
Mhm.
boring. There's no booze there. There's not going to be no coke there. It's going to be shit. So why would I go? I'd rather just sit down in a pub on my own.
Yeah, yeah. Did you go? Did you drink in the pub on your own?
Uh, Sometimes.
I was
A
bad
lot.
for that.
A lot of my pals drink. Obviously, most not as much as me. So they might go home and I might stay there on my own, or would go home at the same time. But then I'd carry on drinking because I've got an emergency supply at home. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
um, if people will go out and go home, I wouldn't stop. I would I would need to drink to be able to sleep, which is sad.
yeah.
Yeah, mate.
I mean, I think when I was about 18, 19, when I started uni at 19, and I felt in my early 20s that I drank like a 60-year-old that took the racing post to the Nag's Head
Yeah,
at 11 a.m. I would go to a pub at, at age 18, 19. I'd go to the pub in the morning. I wouldn't go to lectures, so I'd just go to the Old Grey Mare in Hull, where I went to uni, because I'd been kicked out of I wasn't allowed to go into the student union for a while because I'd been in a fight, pissed out my head,
yeah,
just. I mean, I was tortured at the time. I was miserable, I was depressed. We'll get in further episodes. We'll get into our lives and stuff. But I used to go to the Old Grey Mare because I wasn't allowed into the union, and just sit and watch Sky Sports News and drink ale from like 11 till 7. I mean,
sounds like a dream.
like a granddad. It sounds like a dream. And I thought I was like, I used to sit there thinking, God, I am so fucking cool, man. I am sitting in a pub with the Racing Post. I mean, how
Yeah,
rock and roll is that?
I
And you
don't
look
know
back on
any
it,
18-year-old that drinks ale either.
I know, like, what like, destined to be an alcoholic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, the stars were
It was
written.
written in the cards. It was written in the stars, cards. It was written everywhere.
Yeah,
Um, but obviously, I mean, this episode is just an opportunity for people to get to know like where we
yeah,
were at with it, and our personalities will come out at some point. But
Yeah,
Yeah, it was pure carnage. It was pure carnage. But it's mega important for people to know that no matter how hideous your life is, when you cut it out, everything changes. Every element of your life improves at a rapid pace
yeah,
if you can keep it together. You know.
yeah. What we'll do is we will share content of what we was like at our worst, just to give you some hope, so you can see how bad we were.
Hmm.
Because there is obviously people that out there that would have been worse than us or that are worse than us. But like you said, it doesn't matter how bad you are. If you feel lost, you feel trapped, there is always a way out of it. And as cringy as it sounds, you do only live once. And do you really want to spend the rest of your life miserable, depressed, anxious, skint, overweight, underweight? So everyone has a choice, and it's up to you if you want to make that decision to live a better life. Um, Sometimes I feel like as well is because drinking is such a normal thing, especially in this country. Um, not everyone has a problem, you know. And if you're one of them people that has got a problem, you just have to accept it that you've got the problem, not them. They can drink, you can't drink, but you'll still live a better life without it. It's not the end of the world. Not like you can't drink water again, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Ironically, that's all I drink now: sparkling water and black coffee.
Same. San Pellegrino, whatever it's called.
Mate, that's the good shit, innit? Yeah, I like the. I'm a bit of a connoisseur with sparkling waters.
Yeah.
I would say that my current favourite of value um, product would be Waitrose Essentials
Oh
because
yeah.
the 2 litre bottle maintains its bubble for quite a while.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
I got sober I lived in Spain for the majority of my 30s, as you know. But I got sober in Spain, and I remember at the start I started drinking. I used to go to cafes and drink um, like little short coffees with milk, cortados they're called, and a tonic, because I felt. I know we'll get into like the fear of missing out and all that kind of stuff at some point, but
Hmm.
I felt that I didn't want to have a boring drink in my hand when I first got sober. So a tonic in a nice glass with a bit of with ice and lemon for me was, and it was quite, it's bitter, so it had a bit of a bite to it, and that was for me at the beginning a really useful tool to feel like I was, you know, not a social leper.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then I looked at how much sugar was in it. I thought, Christ! So I don't know the sparkling water. I can't remember when the sparkling water addiction came in, but I drink about 2-3 liters of sparkling water every day,
Same. Same.
and I drink it out of a wine glass most of the time.
Yeah.
It's almost like a big, fuck off.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have conquered this, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
But
I
you got to do what you got to do, mate. You know what I mean?
100%. When I gave up, I know you didn't, but I got heavy, heavy on the 0% lagers. The zero
Yeah.
percent Heineken was my go-to. Um, and I've been to weddings sober, and I've honestly done about 20 of them bottles, mate. Just to feel like I'm fitting in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But now I don't really bother because I just think, what's the point? And they just make you feel so gassy and stuff like that. But for me, they was really, really, really good. A good substitute to sort of like weaning myself off it.
Well, that's good because then my story is very different. I mean, you were obviously in your area where you grew up. I think, when you got sober.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was in another country. All my friends. I'd just recently moved to a new city, and a lot of my mates were like, "I don't think I want to hang out with you because
yeah,
you're hard work and you're dangerous to hang out with, really."
yeah,
And I was working a lot. I'd had no family in the country, so I was very isolated. And your stories, and I didn't do the AF. You got into fitness. You drank the alcohol-free beers. You were local to home. I was like, it was the other way for me. And it's really important that people know there are all kinds of ways of getting sober. I went to AA for about 3 months, 4 months, not every week, but at the beginning, I was like, oh, my people.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah,
just made me feel like less of a cunt, really,
yeah,
Excuse the mouth, but that's how I felt at the time. I was like, you are. pitiful. And that's how people feel, because you're so depressed because you pour in this depressing liquid into your system every day. There is
Yeah.
no escape from the depression. There is no escape
No.
if you're dependent on it and you need it. There's no escape from the purchasing of alcohol and all the stupid shit that goes with it. So the debt, for me, the financial weight on my shoulders for so long was, I mean, that was the most stressful thing I found. And the only way to cope with another debt collector's letter was to get shit faced.
Yeah.
So to be like out of the country and without friends, I just went on this kind of mental reset,
Like solo mission.
solo mission, really. Yeah, proper hardcore. And I feel like I've built up this resilience mentally
Yeah.
that makes me feel like I can handle it most things now. You've gone for the physical route, which also, makes you feel, wow.
Yeah. 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 See, for me, I need to be doing something. I guess I've got an addictive personality. I must do, because everything that I do to excess. But the in the first stages, I wasn't in a physical or mental state to be able to do any form of exercise. So I was living
Mm,
in a shared house at the time, so I rented a room, um, and I really had to struggle I sort of just kept myself away. I basically festered in this fucking manky room
mm,
for ages, until I built up the strength to be able to face the real world sober.
mhm,
Um, and and eventually, bit by bit, I would literally just go for a walk, so I didn't start like lifting weights. The idea of going into a gym, I still thought, fuck that, I'll have a breakdown. Do you know what I mean?
mhm.
um so
All those
yeah.
Instagram knobheads.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And now you're one of
yeah,
them.
now I'm one of them. Yeah. um so yeah, I just done it bit by bit, took every day as it come, um and that was it really. I had some bad news. I lost three people in a year. One of them, my nan and granddad, they went within 12 days of each other in October 2022.
Yeah.
And then one of my best mates passed in October 2022. Sorry, my nan and granddad were actually in June. No, May. No, April. Yeah, so it was
The
hard
quick
hitting.
succession that's hard to deal with, isn't it?
It was hard hitting. And I thought, life is so short. I'm lucky enough to be able to have a chance to actually do life. So I'm not just going to piss it down the wall. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Living miserably. I used to get severe, severe, severe anxiety, that would only go if I had a drink. That is the only thing that would get rid of it. Which is why it was a vicious circle, because alcohol makes you anxious and depressed, but it also solves it.
Hmm.
So to get out of that vicious cycle is difficult, no doubt, but it's doable for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, if you're drinking at quantities, it sounds like we were drinking. I was like you. If I went out on a Thursday night, and I always went out on a Thursday night, I'd
Yeah, same.
therefore need to drink at lunchtime on Friday from work,
Yeah,
straight out of work, straight to the office, 2 cans on the train, beers before, all day. I'm an early riser, always have been, sober or drunk, and I'd get up at 7, 8 o'clock on a Saturday and just start drinking
yeah, mate.
until like
Yeah,
Monday night.
yeah,
And that amount of booze, there is no escape from the misery.
nah,
No escape whatsoever. You've got a contract with misery,
yeah,
and it's all
yeah,
it's just all consuming. To get out of that is the most glorious thing, but it's a gruesome thing.
yeah,
People have got to realize that if you've done, you've got to pay a penance, and the penance is 6 months, 9 months, a year, two. In my case, I would say 3 years of like my head spinning. Obviously, there's a lot of good shit in the first 3 years where I was thinking, "Whoa,
yeah,
this is amazing! I'm a normal person. This is what normal people do. It's how normal people function."
yeah,
But it's tough shit. If you're an alcoholic and you decide to get sober, you're going to have to go through some pain.
yeah.
But believe me, nothing fun, nothing rewarding came from no graft.
No, 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 exactly right. And you can't expect to feel great straight after. If you think that you've been putting this substance in your body for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, however long you've been drinking for, your brain now depends on that. So to remove it, you have to expect that you're going to feel shit for quite a fair few months to a year, maybe years, depending on how long you've been drinking for your brain to then balance it out. So that's standard. But like you said, the rewards is so much worth, or so worth it. There is not a single bad thing about sobriety if you've been struggling in misery and fucking despair for that many years.
Yeah. And it is misery and despair. It really is. They're the two
Yeah.
words, aren't they? It's just, it was grim. I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong. I had a lot of great times on,
Oh yeah.
alcohol and, whatever
Yeah,
else.
man. Like memories that you've had with people, fucked up shit that you've done that you can think back now. Like
Yeah.
that was all funny. Like I've done some crazy shit.
Yeah, same.
And
We'll do an
and
episode on crazy shit we've done. It'll be absolutely wild.
yeah, we'll just try and one up each other and be like, yeah, we done
Yeah,
this stuff.
for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Um, but no, I don't regret. I wouldn't. I've done some very stupid shit, but I wouldn't say I regret a lot just because I feel like it was all building up to something and there was all a reason why it happened, and then
Mhm.
now it's happened. I'm like, cool, thank fuck, I don't do shit like that anymore. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think if you're younger and you go, and it's very extreme, and then there is that implosion. So we were both similar ages. I was, what was I, 33, and you were what, 29 when you got sober?
30.
30. So yeah, like early 30s, whatever. I can speak as someone who's approaching my mid 40s that 10 years passing sort of, what's the word, dilutes the intensity of the memory. So the misery has faded, and I don't think about it now. And I actually am grateful that my life, that I'd made such an effort to reconstruct my life, that it's become so rewarding that I think, well, maybe if I hadn't been an alcoholic, I would have just floated through, and it
Yeah,
would have, because the
yeah,
last 10 years of my life have been amazing. I've
yeah,
lived in loads of different places abroad, came back, had a baby, done loads of traveling, done lots of rewarding things emotionally and mentally, and I'm kind of grateful. And I
yeah,
look back at the drinking days lately with the content that I've been creating on Sober and Sound. I look back at all the like horrible fat photos and just laugh and think, "You fat fuck,"
yeah,
like
yeah,
look at the pathetic state of you.
yeah.
I don't think, "Oh, that was such a deeply sad time." I
No,
think I do remember going to see Primal Scream and uh, and Kings of Leon went before they got
yeah,
shit, and
yeah,
being
mate, yeah,
absolutely off my head and having
yeah,
the best night ever. I don't
yeah,
tend to remember what the come down was like.
yeah,
So, what if you're listening and you're thinking, I can't repair this damage? You can,
yeah, of course.
100%, and with bells on, you can repair it.
100%. Your body will repair itself, your mind can repair itself. You just have to be willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
And it is like a full-time job every day for a good few months at least. Obviously, some people might recover quicker than other people, but yeah, you have to be willing to put the work in. And like you said, that I feel like the reason why you and I feel so much better now is because we have, or is because we felt so shit. We now
Mm,
have so much gratitude towards life, literally just being able to go for a walk
yeah.
without having a rucksack full of beers. Do you know what I mean? Like that's fucking bliss. That is lovely. To be able to go out, have a meal, and wake up early on a Saturday morning like that
Lovely.
with no headache. You've got kids, so I can imagine, like, I couldn't imagine the dad that you would be if you were still drinking.
Oh, mate.
You might not have done any or spent any quality time with your kids at all, which is scary.
Oh, I couldn't have undertaken the day-to-day, what's the word,
Yeah,
necessities of parenthood in
yeah,
that state. No
yeah.
way, man. I couldn't look after myself.
Nah.
On the live chat, we said that about our inability to get to work on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes the whole week.
Yeah,
You know, like I used to
yeah,
wake up in
yeah,
my room in South London, and I used
yeah.
to look at the shit strewn across my room and think, I'm not going into work today because I've got no pants that are clean. You know, and
Yeah,
now I've got a stepdaughter and a daughter, and I look at them and I think, wow, they're like well mannered, and that's
yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
consistent with rules and boundaries, and they're happy and healthy. And
yeah,
I mean, mate, I couldn't put my little finger in my mouth, for 15
yeah.
years. Never mind, look
No,
after a kid,
you'd be
and
taking your
also,
kids to soft play with a bottle of vodka, mate.
yeah, mate, soft play. If anything, will get you back into drinking. It's soft play.
Yeah, I can imagine.
If you can get through soft play on a Saturday morning, you've uber conquered it. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, like it's just unrecognizable kind of life. And I think when I started to get sober, I thought that it was it was so overwhelming, the emotions, because you've never really regulated your emotions properly without booze or drugs. I smoked weed. I know you were big on the gear, weren't you, after you'd had a drink? I'm sure we'll
yeah,
talk about that as well. I'm sure I'm not
yeah, mate. One
exposing any
pint
like
or
big
one sip,
secret.
and that was
One
it. The
sip,
alarm
yeah,
bells
yeah,
are ringing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
call your man, and he's there in 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's
Shocking.
easy as that. But we're just going to quickly explain, obviously, like our typical weeks of what a week would look like.
I think that's important so people get a feel for where we were at, so they can maybe make a comparison. No?
Exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah, go on then. Let's see how yours
So
played out.
so let's say we're starting from Monday. Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't have gone to work. That's my first achievement. Uh, I would then lie in bed for as long as I possibly could, genuinely feeling like I was dying. And then when I got out, I would have to have a few drinks at least to take the edge off life itself, because
Hmm.
I genuinely couldn't cope. I don't know if this is normal or not, but when I didn't have a drink after a big sesh, I would just be like, I would feel like I'm physically shaking, or
Yeah.
I just feel like my head's fucking wobbling. It was a strange feeling, man.
I totally understand that feeling. One like so
I was
relate to that.
so jittery. It was incredible. And then, so yeah, I'd have to have a few drinks to get through Monday. I say a few drinks. I'd have about 6 to 8 pints religiously. Tuesday, I would just tone it down slightly, so I could be having 4 to 6 pints, but I would make it into work. But then I might not be able to make it through Tuesday the full day without having to have a drink. So on my lunch break, I'd be sneaking out and having a few pints. Do you know what I mean? To get that second
Hmm.
wind. And what I would do is I'd just gradually tone it down. So Wednesday, I'd be feeling semi-normal, still not 100%, so a few drinks. By Thursday, I'll be feeling brand new. And Thursday was my favourite day of the week because
Yeah.
I knew that Friday was on the horizon. And
Guilt-free Thursday as well. You feel like
yeah,
you've
yeah,
earned it because you only, because you didn't get pissed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
yeah,
You just
exactly, yeah,
regulated,
yeah.
medicated.
Thursday, I'd be so fucking excited for the weekend. So fucking excited because work's normally a bit more chilled out on Friday. Everyone's in a good mood, so
Mm.
I'd get fucked up on Thursday, and I wouldn't feel bad about going into work on Friday because I knew it was kind of like wind down day. I'd get fucked on my lunch break on a Friday. Always get pissed. Um, and the rest is history. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, flat out, sleep or no
Mhm.
sleep. It was just tunnel vision, straight to the pub from work on Friday, and do not think about fuck all apart from getting as fucked as I could. That was my life. Um, Sunday was grim, obviously, like mad, horrible thoughts, thinking fuck work, blah blah blah. I don't know what I worried about it on a Sunday because I knew I wasn't fucking going in on a Monday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I should have started worrying about it on a Monday.
we're laughing, but we should maybe apologise to our previous employers. But I was good for
Yeah.
nothing on a Monday.
Oh, I would like to say I was probably the worst employee in history when I was drinking. I was useless unless I had a drink. I worked in sales, so if I had a few beers, I could sell snow to an Eskimo. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah.
if I was sober, I'd be hanging up on people, mate, because I couldn't deal with talking to them. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, that was my lovely life. What's not to love?
I know. Yeah, how glorious! What a brilliant way to spend your 20s.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Backpacking in Mexico. Now you're all right. I'll just sit in the, you know, the grid in Weatherspoons in South
Yeah,
Wales.
mate. Yeah, yeah. Weatherspoons was always good because like you could go there and not be judged and have a beer at any time
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh,
not be judged. Lovely, and it
that's
was
such a
cheap.
good point. Cheap, it opened early, and there was no judgment.
Yeah, perfect. It was like a safe house.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
felt so safe in Spoons. It was unreal.
I remember having, almost catatonic episodes in Weatherspoons on Mondays sometimes. Just being so depressed, so under pressure financially, so worried about losing my job, so regretful about the way I treated people at the weekend, all with the depressing liquid,
Yeah,
no escape, just all encompassing misery. But at least I'm in Weatherspoons.
yeah. All them feelings you're feeling. What do you do? Have a
Ah,
drink. Have a drink, mate. That's what
and
you do.
it's a tragedy, and you are unfortunate to get yourself into that position. But when you think that there are like 9-year-olds on kidney dialysis machines that just grin and bear it, and
No.
that's when I started to. That's when I used to have the, oh, you're pathetic, sort it out,
Yeah,
pathetic, you know.
yeah,
But obviously, I mean, I'm on the fence whether it's a disease or not. But let's hope that's another debate.
yeah. We'll
It's
that.
that's We could talk on that for an hour. But
Yeah,
I mean, in regards to comparing your week to mine, very very similar, mate. Really.
I thought so.
I mean, almost identical. So let's start mine on a Thursday, just so it's a slightly different. Thursday, I would be delirious about the weekend because work used to annoy me because I couldn't drink.
Have a drink on
It,
the sly.
I used to get really angry that I'm not angry at anyone, but be like, oh God, it needs to be
Yeah,
5 o'clock.
yeah,
So Thursday, I would leave work, and I was murder for drinking on public transport. Um, And I remember at one time in my 20s, I worked about an hour and a half from where I lived. Worked in Kent, and I was living in like on the border of southwest East London. It took me an hour and a half to get back, and I used to worry about having if I got 2 cans, I would worry about the final 20 minutes of the journey because I didn't have a third one.
yeah. Is
So
this
a
gonna last me?
20-minute gap was like outrageously stressful, and I thought, fuck, I'm gonna finish this at Peckham
Yeah,
Rye, and I have to get off at Streatham Hill.
mate. Exactly the same. You're just thinking, is this gonna be enough to last me? Blah blah blah, and then yeah, you would worry.
Oh, mate, it'd give me anxiety, and then I'd maybe like spin it out and just have a little bit in the can, just so it was there, and I would like
Yeah,
sip it slowly, and then I'd get off the thing, and I'd get another one to walk home, which was a 6-minute walk,
yeah,
just to fill the void, and
yeah,
then I would go home. I'd like I wouldn't even change. I'd just go straight to the pub, or if I was skint, I'd buy booze and go home. And if it's Thursday, I might go out, probably go out.
yeah,
Friday, I would have to go to the pub at lunchtime to manage just to get through, and then yeah, from Friday night until Sunday 2 in the morning, Monday morning 2 o'clock, I'd just be on the piss the whole time. But it was a lot of it was to hide away from my true feelings,
yeah,
as well as the addiction feeds the feelings, and the feelings need to be run away from with the booze. So as like you say, it's just a vicious circle.
yeah,
And then I always found that I would wake up on Monday if I was going to work. I normally decided on a Sunday afternoon if I was going to work or not on a Monday,
Yeah.
if I was in the shape, or if I was
Commit.
my boss was particularly pissed off with me. I'm like, I need to go in tomorrow. Because if you don't, if you get fired and then you can't, you end up in a halfway house like you did. You know what I mean? You
Exactly.
know, I
I
couldn't
did
go
it.
back back up north with a tail between my legs. I thought, I just can't do that. And so I often found myself waking up with like anxiety and sweats at about 4 o'clock on a Monday morning, and I'd just
Yeah.
go to the fridge and just drink a can of Stella and then go back to bed because it would level me out. I mean, you and I are pissing ourselves laughing here,
Yeah.
but it's just it's a pitiful tragedy. But
Yeah.
I
It's not
hope that,
funny, but it
I mean,
is, because I
there's a
know what
reason.
it was like. It's just fucking. It's so bad, but it's funny because that was literally me,
Yeah.
um, and I know exactly how you felt when you. I know exactly how you felt when you had that beer at 4 in the morning on a Monday. I know exactly how you felt, and
It, it's funny how we've walked into each other's lives randomly just because you decided to call me authentic on a private message, you
yeah,
know,
mate.
because you
Just finding
related to it, and
ends.
now here we are. I think that like the name, the sober stretch, is pertinent as well because the drinking years were a jail sentence to me,
Yeah.
and now the sober stretch, this stretch can go on for as long as it wants to. There's no way I'll drink again. But
No.
going back to the week, yeah, at Monday, if I didn't go to work, I'd 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 lie in bed and contemplate my life.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to get up and drink.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have to. I would have to, and I would drink.
Yeah. You'd be like, I can't waste a day away, but then you just go
Yeah,
and fucking go and waste it away, getting pissed anyway.
yeah. I mean, I don't want people thinking that we're laughing because we take it lightly, but
No.
it was pathetic, really.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing cool about it, is there?
No, no, nothing at all. You think, and I was very much. We'll go into our backgrounds and where we were from in further episodes, but I grew up 12 miles from Manchester. I've said this in a few podcasts I've been on recently. Growing up when Oasis were big and United were winning everything, I'm a United fan, and I just wanted to be a rock and roll star, man. Just go to
Yeah.
charity shops to get Parkers to
Yeah.
be, like a rock star.
Liam. Yeah.
To be LG, yeah, and then suddenly I was 30 and I still wanted to be LG, and my life was in
Yeah.
tatters.
Yeah. It's a bit like, come on, grow up, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Fuck, grow up, mate. You know what I mean? You see, like, you see, I don't know, people with Paul Weller hair at 55 coming out of a pub on a Sunday, like, oh, and I think, mate,
Yeah. Yeah.
you poor bastard, you've not
Yeah.
seen the light. You've
Yeah.
not seen the light.
No. And he's not happy. Do you know what I mean? You can have as many beers as you like and try and hide it and give it the big one and think you're the Matt's nuts. But I just
Yeah.
don't believe that anyone's happy being an alcoholic. No one wants to be that guy. But it has made me have sympathy for a lot of people because they're suffering. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was
Mhm.
suffering for years. You were suffering for years, and people just think, oh, it's your choice. You're self sabotaging, but it's not, because the way that I saw it is it was life or death. Genuinely, if I didn't
Mhm.
drink when I needed one, for me that was life or death. That's how bad it was. So
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? Am I gonna fucking feel like I'm gonna die or have a drink?
Yeah.
Have a drink.
Easy decision. Easy decision.
Exactly.
And your muscle memory just says, I have to drink.
Yeah.
You have to. The gruesome part of getting sober is reshaping that muscle. I have an Instagram chat group with people that are struggling. Where it's like an accountability thing, and one lady in there always says, "Keep flexing that sober muscle." Because
Yeah,
you've
man.
been flexing the drinking one for so long, you've got, like you went to the gym when you finally, and you're in great shape and you're built like a fucking tank now.
I don't know.
But that's because you had to flex that sober muscle
Yeah.
every day. And my mind muscle is fine tuned now.
Yeah.
When trauma or bad things happen, I
Yeah.
talk about it. I feel like I've developed an ironclad resilience that is going to
Yeah.
stay with me for the rest of my life. So I'm glad that I was in that such a pitiful state.
Yeah. It's made me think, actually, being on this and obviously chatting to you. the reason you know, when you said like you felt like such a waste of society and you'd hide away from the world as we did for so many years,
Yeah,
wouldn't put any photos on social media, nothing like that. Again, it's not a vanity thing for me. Whatever I put on social media, number one, I love to help people. So the amount of people that have messaged me just by putting videos on my social media of what I used to be like and what I'm like now, I've had so many messages of people saying thank you. I can understand this. I can relate to this so much. It's given me the kick up the arse that I needed. Blah blah blah. And not just that as well. For the first time in my life, I can actually say I'm proud of myself, which is a big thing,
yeah,
because I was always the cunt. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Pardon my French, but
yeah, yeah.
there's
No,
no
but
other way to put it.
there's
I
a
was,
time and a place to say that word, and that's how we felt.
yeah.
You know, I was,
So yeah,
yeah, and I think we'll wrap it up, I reckon here. But it's a nice way to end that. Feeling proud of yourself. There's no greater feeling, and when
100%.
when you're starved of that self pride, you like your life is meaningless.
Yeah,
And so anyone that's listening, just hang in there. And I'm the same. I the content I put on social on Instagram is very raw and honest, and I think that takes I think that takes the stress out of it for people. They think, oh, I've got this guy who's just so open about it
yeah,
that it makes me feel less horrible about myself. And I get messages every day now, every single day, and I've not got a big following. If it's negligible compared to some accounts, and but I'm just amazed. So I don't. Those 15 years of caning it and being in that state are now
paying off.
worth it,
Yeah,
paying off for other people, and that's mega.
yeah.
That's mega.
So yeah. So what this podcast is going to be about? It's going to be knowledge and help. What we want to do is we want to inspire as many people as we possibly can who are struggling, because we know how bad it is. We want to help as many people as we can and make you realize that there is actually a life at the end of the tunnel and not just fuckloads of misery.
Indeed, absolutely. Well, let's wrap it up there, mate. Our
Cool.
first ever episode of the Sober Stretch.
Yeah.
Where can people find you
So
individually?
my Instagram is at live without limits _ coaching. We'll leave a link
Nice,
in the description.
lovely. Mine is at Sober and Sound. So you at Sober letter N Sound. So if you want to follow us individually and the Sober Stretch, you'll get an unfiltered version of
Yeah, yeah.
alcoholism to sobriety. All
Straight
right,
up,
mate.
no
We'll
bullshit.
with no bullshit. We'll be back next week.
Legend.
Peace. Take it
Catch
easy,
you
man.
soon. Bye bye.